Welcome back to K-Drama Cycle, where we dive deep into the stories behind Asia's most beloved stars. Today, we're taking you through the incredible journey of Yu and Tian Xuning, a couple whose relationship once seemed doomed to collapse under the weight of public scrutiny, but who managed to transform their darkest days into a story of resilience, growth, and love redeemed. Let's rewind to where it all began. Yu and Tian Xuning's love story was never a quiet one. From the very beginning, their chemistry caught the attention of fans and the media. Whether they were spotted walking hand in hand after late-night rehearsals or sharing quiet moments in crowded airports, people couldn't get enough of them. But with fame comes a price, and for Yu and Tian Xuning, that price was harsh criticism, endless speculation, and a scandal that almost destroyed everything they had built together. The fallout began with leaked photos that seemed to tell a story of betrayal. The media twisted narratives, headlines screamed betrayal, and the internet exploded with harsh judgments. Yu was painted as reckless, while Tian Xuning was portrayed as the heartbroken partner left to pick up the pieces. Fans who once rooted for their love turned their backs. The couple went from being adored to being scrutinized overnight. 4 months, silence defined their story. Yu retreated from the spotlight, choosing not to respond publicly. Tian Xuning focused on her career, pouring herself into projects while avoiding personal questions. To the outside world, it seemed their love had ended in tragedy. But behind closed doors, something else was happening. They were rebuilding. Yu admitted later in an interview that those months were some of the hardest in his life. He said, "I had to face myself. I had to ask what kind of man I wanted to be, not just for the public, but for her, for us." Tian Xuning echoed this sentiment, revealing that their time apart forced them to reflect, to communicate honestly, and to decide if love was worth fighting for. And for them, it was. Slowly, Yu began making changes. He showed up at rehearsals on time, dedicated himself fully to his work, and stopped engaging in habits that had once caused tension. Tian Xuning, in turn, softened her guard. She allowed herself to forgive, to see the man who was trying so hard to grow, and to believe once again in the love they had. Their comeback as a couple didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process, seen in small but meaningful moments. Yu attending Tian Xuning's theater performance and cheering her on from the front row. Tian Xuning being spotted quietly supporting Yu at a low-profile music showcase. And then, finally, the day they decided to step back into the spotlight together. When Yu and Tian Xuning made their first public appearance after the scandal, no one knew what to expect. But what the world saw was undeniable, a couple not broken by fallout, but stronger because of it. They held hands, they smiled, and they didn't shy away from the cameras. It was their way of saying, "We're still here, and we're moving forward." The response was overwhelming. Fans who had once criticized them began to soften, acknowledging their courage and their willingness to be vulnerable. The hashtags #LoveRedeemed and #Yu Tian Xuning started trending, with fans praising their strength and resilience. Many said that their story gave them hope, that love, even when tested, can survive if both people are willing to fight for it. From there, their careers began to flourish again. Yu landed a major role in a historical drama that showcased his growth not just as an actor, but as a man. Tian Xuning's performances were praised for their depth and maturity, with critics noting how her personal journey seemed to fuel her artistry. Together, they became not just a couple, but a symbol of endurance. But what makes this story truly powerful isn't just the public redemption. It's the private promises they made to each other. In one rare interview, Tian Xuning said, "Love isn't about perfection. It's about falling, breaking, and choosing each other again, even when it's hard." And that's exactly what they did. Their love story is no longer about scandal or fallout. It's about victory, the kind of victory that doesn't come with trophies or awards, but with peace, trust, and a renewed bond that no headline can break. Today, Yu and Tian Xuning continue to inspire. They've proven that relationships in the spotlight can endure, that mistakes don't have to define us, and that love, when nurtured with honesty and commitment, can truly be redeemed. So, what's next for this couple? Fans are buzzing with rumors of marriage, collaborations, and even whispers of starting a family. Whether those rumors prove true or not, one thing is certain: Yu and Tian Xuning have rewritten their story. From fallout to triumph, from brokenness to wholeness, they've shown us all that love, real love, can rise from the ashes. And that's why their journey will be remembered not just as a scandal, but as a testament to the power of second chances. Here on K-Drama Cycle, we'll keep following their journey, bringing you every update, every milestone, and every beautiful chapter they continue to write together. After their public return as a couple, Yu and Tian Xuning's story didn't just fade into the background. In fact, it became a point of conversation across the entertainment world. Commentators noted how rare it is for stars to recover from such public fallout, and many industry veterans said their redemption arc could easily serve as a lesson for younger idols on handling scandal and rebuilding trust. But for Yu and Tian Xuning, it wasn't about headlines or reputation anymore. It was about the quiet victories that no camera could capture. Friends close to the couple described how their daily routines changed. They began carving out time for simple things, cooking together at home, walking in the park late at night when the crowds were gone, and even journaling as a way to express feelings that had once been bottled up. These weren't grand gestures for the public. They were the building blocks of trust, the proof that healing takes consistent effort. And fans noticed. Whenever Yu posted a candid picture, whether it was of a sunrise or a book he was reading, sharp-eyed followers often found traces of Tian Xuning in the background, a scarf she wore, a reflection in the glass, or even her laughter caught faintly on a video. It was subtle, unspoken, but intentional. They weren't hiding anymore, but they weren't flaunting it either. They were simply living, and letting fans see the honesty in that. One turning point came when they appeared together in a live broadcast. It wasn't scripted, and it wasn't heavily promoted. They sat side by side, answering fan questions, joking lightly, and at one point, Yu turned to Tian Xuning and said softly, "I'm proud of us." That single line spread like wildfire across the internet. Fans clipped it, shared it, and called it one of the most genuine moments in celebrity history. The shift in public opinion was undeniable. Where once their names were tied to scandal, they were now tied to words like perseverance, growth, and love that lasts. Brands, who had once distanced themselves, started reaching out again. Offers for couple endorsements began to pour in, and for the first time in a long while, Yu and Tian Xuning had the freedom to choose what they wanted, rather than scrambling to protect what they had. But success didn't make them reckless. They became more selective, turning down flashy opportunities in favor of projects that aligned with their values. Yu even spoke about this in an interview, saying, "When you lose everything once, you learn how to hold on to what matters most." And perhaps the most touching part of their journey has been their dedication to giving back. Together, they started quietly funding scholarships for underprivileged youth pursuing the arts. They didn't announce it with big press events. Fans only found out when recipients began sharing their gratitude online. For Yu and Tian Xuning, it was about creating something positive out of pain, about ensuring their redemption wasn't just for themselves but also for others. Of course, challenges still linger. Even now, there are skeptics who question the authenticity of their relationship or critics who insist that one scandal can never be fully erased. But Yu and Tian Xuning no longer feel the need to argue. Their actions, their consistency, and their bond speak louder than any denial could. And perhaps that's why fans are whispering about the future. The topic of marriage has been trending more often, with questions like, when will they finally take the next step? Some claim that Yu has already been spotted ring shopping, while others speculate that Tian Xuning has been preparing for a quieter lifestyle that might allow for family. Nothing has been confirmed, but in the world of celebrity culture, rumors often hold grains of truth. If marriage does come, it will not just be a personal victory, it will be a cultural statement. It will prove that two stars can weather the storm of scandal and still choose each other in the end. It will be a reminder that love, when nurtured, doesn't just survive, it thrives. And even if marriage is not on the immediate horizon, Yu and Tian Xuning have already achieved something rare. They've rewritten their story in the eyes of millions. Their names no longer spark whispers of betrayal, but conversations about forgiveness, resilience, and the beauty of choosing love after pain. As the years move forward, we'll remember them not for the scandal that once shook their world, but for the way they rose from it. Hand in hand, stronger than ever, proving that love truly can be redeemed. And here at K-Drama Cycle, we'll be watching, we'll be listening, and we'll be sharing every new chapter as Yu and Tian Xuning continue to inspire with a love story that has turned fallout into triumph and heartbreak into hope.